What's up everybody, this is Kyprotonic here. I do apologise to everybody that has actually been wanting me to upload once again. Personally, Pokemon and like YouTube as a whole really didn't fit my funness anymore. I kind of got bored of doing all this sort of stuff, but a lot of people do eventually come back to doing what they kind of like doing. I did like doing it before, but then it just got stale to me. But I'm hopefully, I'm going to be back for a very long time now. I do owe it to like a lot of people. I do kind of feel ashamed of myself not actually giving you guys like a reason why I stopped doing all this sort of stuff. But personally, I just didn't like anything to do with Pokemon or even uploading videos or even making videos in general. But yeah, I'm back. We actually have a very good 5th gen Wi-Fi narrated battle here for you. And this one is against an opponent called Aeolian. All the information will be in the description and the title. So without further ado, we both lead with Rotom Wash forms, which is kind of like a new lead to I kind of seen like a lot throughout the meta game recently. I guess that's just because a lot of people actually find using Rotom Wash quite useful. I'm actually a Scarf version. I'm going to go with Volt Switch there on his own Rotom Wash, and he makes the correct play there. I kind of was a questionable play on my behalf going into Landorus. I kind of thought he would actually be Scarfed himself, and that's why I thought he would go for Volt Switch as well. Now, with that being said, my Landorus is pretty useless, just because having a burned Landorus is very useless. It really sucks when you just get burned like on the first turn. And yeah, I go with HPIs like a stupid ass, but what more can I do? I just really had no other option just to stay in there and allow my Landorus to die. So not really a good start for me. I need to get momentum straight back on my side, and with that being said, I'm going to go straight into Latios. He predicts Draco Meteor, I predict Heatran, and I predict very correctly. He brings in Heatran, and I'm going to go with Spec Surf here, and I know it's going to do about 60 to 70% on this Heatran because a lot of them are especially defensive these days. Luckily, he was actually an Air Balloon Heatran, so I get to pop that balloon very early in the game. I'm not going to over-predict. I was tempted to go into Tyranitar predicting his Lati as switch in there, but yeah, I do a decent chunk with the Surf. I'm going to make the correct play here. I'm actually going to go straight into Tyranitar just to get up Sand, I guess. We're both running like kind of a similar team. I just need to be careful of his own Landorus that will be floating around later on. He goes with Substitute, which I kind of predicted. I've seen like a few Latias doing this sort of stuff before, but I figured if he's not carrying Raw, I can pretty much wall it. Just because I know with Pursue, I'm going to be able to trap it now. So he shows me Dragon Pulse straight away, and that really sums up what I was assuming. If he wasn't carrying Raw, he's pretty much done for. I felt like Stealth Rocks wasn't needed at this point, just because I need to get rid of this Latias as soon as possible. Behind a sub, it still kind of is a problem just too certain for a few Pokemon on my team. I'm actually able to at least 1 or 2 KO this from this point, and as you can see, Dragon Pulse doesn't really do anything to my Tyranitar just because of the Sandstorm special defense boost, which is excellent. So we're just getting this Latios out of the way. I don't know what you guys take on like a lot of things recently, but for me, I'm trying my best to actually find the funness back in this game. And yeah, I made a few videos recently about it. I kind of got like a few people just to suggest what I should do. I still have like a decent fan base. I'm hoping actually just to get in with all my fans again and hopefully be back to doing the usual stuff. But anyway, on to the point of the match. He now brings in his Landorus, and Landorus does scare me because it could be Expert Belt. I was kind of assuming he might go for Substitute. I just needed to scout if he was actually carrying the Substitute. And I kind of made the correct play there and decided to break it with a Rock Slide. I'm actually carrying Superpower, which is kind of going to come into effect later on in the match. He now goes with Knockdown on my incoming Rotom, which is the correct play to do. I predicted Earthquake there, or even U-Turn. I wasn't really too bothered. Landorus is a bit of a threat to me, but I mean, I am a Scarf Rotom, so if I can actually get off a Hydro Pump, that will really pretty much render it useless. But I'm also carrying the Scarf Will-O-Wisp. I don't know what people's take on that, but I kind of find it a bit useful, just for scenarios such as that, I guess. I kind of wanted to get residual damage on anything anyway, and also trying to cripple his Landorus if that was actually if I actually got the opportunity to do that. Predicting either Will-O-Wisp again or even Pain Split, I guess. I'm going to go into my Latios just because I figured it was a kind of a safer option. If he wanted to Volt Switch, if he's carrying it, then he probably would have done it then, I guess. But now I'm actually not going to overpredict because I'm kind of playing too many overpredictions, and sometimes if you overpredict all the time, it kind of like bites you in your ass, I guess. So I'm going to make the safer play and go straight for Draco Meteor. I was tempted to go for Dragon Pulse just because I didn't want to be locked on like -2, I guess, but I felt like Draco Meteor was sufficient and was the correct play to do at this point. He now brings in Tyranitar, and that pretty much rectifies the ending of my Latios, just because now I'm going to be trapped with the Pursuit. I was actually able to do his Latias a favour later on, you know, take it out of the game quite early. By this point, my Latios is now down, which isn't too bad. I mean, I guess I could have used it a little bit more, but I kind of fell for the trap there with the Pursuit. But I still have my Scissor, which is a monster. It's still in this generation. I'm going to predict his switch into Landorus, I assume, which was the correct play to do, I guess. He doesn't really want to lose his Tyranitar a little bit too early in this match. I was a little bit worried just because I wasn't really the most speediest Scissor running there. I think I'm actually Adamant. I could be wrong. Adamant CB kind of works, makes sense. I was only like 162 or something, or 164 speed, but I was kind of worried that he might have Fire Blast, sorry. I'm going to Rotom from the U-turn. I'm predicting maybe he might overpredict, and that's why I go with Hydro Pump. I was really tempted to go for Will-O-Wisp there, just because I could have crippled his Slowbro, which I felt really much of a threat, just because I still had my Scizor and my Rotom just floating about in the back. I'm going to have to bring in Skarmory just to be pretty much a death fodder here. You know, I kind of thought maybe I could get up one layer of spikes somehow in this point. I wasn't really too concentrated on like getting up spikes or even Stealth Rock too much in this match. Luckily, I'm actually able to get up one layer of spikes before I actually am taken out by another Boiling Water or Scald or whatever you want to call it. So that's kind of good for me, I guess, but just because I can actually wither down like this Slowbro when it does come back in, if it decides to do, or even switch out, because it does actually have the regeneration, is it? Regenerator, whichever it's pronounced, or ability name. I'm going to go in Scizor. Scizzor's a beast, and it's going to scare that thing out straight away. I predicted Heatran switch in there. I was tempted to go for Superpower, but again, not really wanting to overpredict too much, because I felt like I have this match pretty much under my belt, I guess, if you want to say. I don't want to like slip up one turn, just because if I slip up one turn and make a very silly mistake, it will actually make my opponent have the advantage once again. Because, I mean, his Landorus is still there, and that Slowbro is still a bit of a pain in the ass just to get rid of. So, U-turn, then I'm going to Rotom, then I'm going to go Volt Switch just to bring in Tyranitar. And he actually brings in his own Tyranitar. I don't know if this is actually like a noobish play, or like a really missaved, if you want to call it, on my behalf, not actually carrying like a Choppleberry on my Tyranitar. I don't know if that's actually like a common thing these days, but I kind of have seen it around a few times. I don't know people's take on using Choppleberry Tyranitar. Is it better than using leftovers? Whatever, I don't know. Let me know if anybody actually cares enough to put a comment about that. So I'm going to go back into Scizor here, and yep, I'm actually really a little bit scared still, but I felt I might beat it just on the speed, and I do. I get a crit. I don't know if it mattered. It probably did, but I'm not really going to complain at this point because, you know, it's kind of getting down to the later stages of the match. I am CB 252 Adamant, I believe, so, you know, it is super effective, and Tyranitar does actually have a decent bulk to it anyway, so could have mattered. I'm not going to complain though. He goes into Slowbro, and he makes the correct decision on actually switching out and going straight into Landorus. Once again, I didn't want to overpredict just because I felt like if I actually overpredict, then it might cost me. Then I thought to myself, well, this Landorus is going to get a free substitute now, because I kind of made the mistake of actually allowing it to do that. I'm going to have to be forced to use the Bullet Punch here just because I need to break that substitute. I'm not sure if it's Hidden Power Ice, like Earthquake, Smackdown, or what. I think it's Knockdown, Smack. It's still the same name. Landorus type of set there. Luckily, I'm actually able to take a Earthquake. It does a massive amount of damage to my Scizor, but you know, because I'm actually still at full HP from that point, and my opponent didn't really get up any form of Stealth Rocks, that pretty much allowed my Scizor just to pretty much kill off the Landorus. That's quite good. So, Slowbro comes back in, looking all slowish, and now I'm actually gonna switch out, not really wanting to lose my Scizor just because I know I'm probably gonna be faster than Slowbro. Rotom seemed like the logical play to do there. I think this and Scizzor's my only two pokes left anyway, so luckily I don't get burned from the boiling water there. And yeah, because if I did, probably I would have died on this turn, I assume. I don't know. Probably from like Sandstorm, then like Will-O-Wisp burn. Yeah, it might finish me off then, but I'm not going to complain. He slacks off here, which is kind of making the game a little bit more slower. But in all honesty, I felt like now this is game over for my opponent just because, you know, Scizzor's going to do justice on him and, you know, just cripple it with a U-turn. To actually speed things up, he decides to go with Thunder Wave and kind of makes it, like, less annoying just to finish off the match. So, guys, that's the game. It's a 2-0 victory for me. Sandstorm finishes off Slowbro. If you enjoyed this narration, please let me know. Any feedback on what you think I could improve on in terms of battle, style, Pokemon, narration, video stuff, etc. Please leave a comment about that. Please keep subscribing. I do appreciate everybody that actually tunes into my videos, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.